Very good. Welcome to the Coastside Fire Protection District Board of Directors regular board meeting, April 22nd, 2026. Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell.
Here.
Director Hannah. Director McKinney.
Here.
Director Sherrill. Here. President Burke.
Here. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any members?
I'm gonna recuse myself from the.
Yep. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board? Anybody would like to speak? Only online?
My name is Joe Vogel. I don't know how this process works, but I'm just here concerning the weed abatement program over in Moss Beach up on Seal.
Sure, would you mind just stand up so we can just see? I think if you just stand, you can.
Okay.
You're
You
fine.
want me to look at the screen? There's the back, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm just here concerning that. My mom has properties over there that are unbuildable. They're right on the kind of bluff. They're in a landslide area. And I'm just wondering if there's any way I can get like a waiver or something for the weed abatement, because you can't really mow it, you can't really, and it's all just coyote brush. It's not really grass. It's you guys know what coyote brush is, right? It's this kind of stick.
Scrub oak,
Yeah, scrub
greasewood, whatever you want to comes in need.
But I'm just concerning, a friend of my mom said that she has a property on 837 Ocean, which is just a vacant lot now, and someone named Michelle back in 2012 said that that doesn't get a notice for fire clearance at all because it can't be mowed. So basically, I'm just here to see if there's any way I can get a waiver on that for.
Thank you. But we as the board cannot take a position on that today, but we've asked somebody from the station to be in contact with you directly as to what possibly might be done. Okay?
Okay,
Have you reached out to the fire marshal's office here?
I don't think so. No, I haven't.
Okay, so that would be my first recommendation is come in normal business hours. And then either Megan or one of the folks from the fire marshal's office will be able to assist you. And look at that service right there.
There it
Thank
is.
you, John. And they'll be able to look at the address and then we can go from there.
Okay. What's the business hours? Is it 8 to 5?
8 to 5.
8 to 5. Okay, and just through this door?
Yeah. Right where you came through. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
You bet. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion on the consent calendar? Notice it, note in advance and Director McKinney at that meeting. Do we have a motion?
To move.
Second.
Motion seconded. Any comment? Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell.
Yes.
Director Hannah. Absent. Director McKinney recused. Director Sherrill. Yes. President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1-1.
Moving on to continued business update on wildfire prevention. Chief Silver.
Wildfire prevention?
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
I'll steal it from Gary. So zone 0, there is actually some new movement. A draft was released on Friday of what the new zone 0 would look like. Some of those things are the zone 0 to 5 foot. The first 1 foot or under the eve of the home is the no fuel zone. And then the remaining difference of that 5 feet, anywhere from 4 to 0 feet, can have certain type of non-flammable vegetation. And there's talk in there about a tree. If a tree is next to your home within a certain zone, 10 feet from a chimney, canopy 5 feet from the roof line. It goes into some other real delineated details. The phase-in is now 3 years of education. And then year 4 and 5 would be moving towards application. So hopefully in the first 3 years, people are doing it. After year 5, that's when enforcement potentially could come into effect. So it's actually a 5-year phase-in instead of the original 3-year phase-in. There's a workshop actually online tomorrow, or if you want to go to Calabasas, California, you could be there in person. And they're going to be looking at this since it was released last Friday. And I believe they're gonna have 2 other workshops. And if you have, public input is being received, so you can go on the Zone Zero website on the Board of Forestry and submit public input. And it seems like they're hearing some of the challenges that people saw and modifying it while still having a good positive outcome. So that's Zone Zero. Water tender was purchased. We're looking at September-ish. So that's really good turnaround. There was a meeting held earlier today with Supervisor Mueller's office, looking at multi-agency prioritization of projects. And it included the 3rd district, CAL FIRE, County Fire, Coastside Fire, Woodside, North County, Caltrans, PG&E, RCD, Parks. And it was to look at all those facets of projects going on to see how maybe we can better align. So that's exciting, some work going on there. The Caltrans right of way funding was found and they're moving forward with doing fuel mitigation. There was notice to the public on when they're gonna be doing that in the areas they're going to do, so that's exciting. And then, tonight, Ryan and I will be joining emergency management and the sheriff's office at the Mid-Coast Council to discuss evacuation planning and, evacuations. So that is the wildfire prevention update for the district.
Questions, comments?
Sid had her hand raised, it looks like.
Sid.
Sid, do you have a
Yeah.
comment?
I do. I was trying to find the unmute. 2 questions. One is congratulations on getting that water tender so quickly. And do you have any idea how many total water tenders there are in the county for, important use?
There are being 6.
Now that will be 6 or will it be 7 once we get ours?
We currently have 3 within the county, Woodside has 2, ours will be 6.
Good. And then the other question I had was, I understand they're going to demonstrate online tonight the AI evacuation software. I believe we've asked for that. Do you think that was through Captain Eamon Allen? So I asked once before, and CAL FIRE said that they don't deal with the evacuation software that the county paid for, that would be the sheriff's department. Is at the MCC tonight. Do you know?
I do not know if they're gonna be demonstrating, that software platform or not.
Okay, thanks. That's it. That was my questions.
Thank you, Sid.
Sure.
Any other member of the public would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll move on. Chief, back to the vegetation, are there different rules going to be made for homes that have been here for 50 years versus new ones?
Yeah, so homes that are pre-existing would come into compliance within that 5-year.
They have to come in compliance.
Within that 5-year, if they're in the state responsibility area, or it's a home that's in the very high fire hazard severity zone and an LRA area, would need to come into compliance with 5 years. Any new construction would automatically need to be in compliance with ponds buildings.
Other question?
Then that brings up the next question. Will all these homes be inspected?
That is the goal, yes.
I mean,
So-
how, okay, so every house in the district at some point will be inspected to see if they're in compliance.
in the very high fire hazard severity zone, and we would start with a 3-year rotation, taking those homes and doing a portion every 3 years so that you can see compliance, because if you come every single year to somebody, you might not see compliance immediately. So hit them 1 year and then you'd rotate through is the plan. And we're still deciding on if that'll be strictly engine companies or if a position's needed in the fire marshal to do that. So, Jordan or has to go out and do more inspections. So we're still figuring out how it's going to be implemented. We're looking at a software called Fireside, which is an inspection platform, which is very tailored towards the end user and allows for less impact to the personnel where a homeowner can get an inspection and it says, you know, JB, you have a tree up against your house and it needs to be removed to come into compliance. You contact an arborist, you can remove that tree, you take a picture of it, submit it through the Fireside program. It tells Jordan, hey, JB just submitted that he corrected this. They verify it either visually with what's on the program or going out. Check the box and you come into compliance on your inspection from maybe not being in
But
compliance.
that covers trees, how about people that have wood fences?
There's a large section in here on wood fences, and I'm not 100% well versed on it, but there should be no combustible against the house.
Okay.
So I was reading it and I kind of interpreted two different things. The first 5 feet should not be combustible, or maybe just the portion that's underneath. So I have to
Okay.
review it a little bit more to fully comprehend the new
And just,
proposed rule.
I have one more question, and maybe you're not the right person to ask. Where can I get this, this fire severity map? I stumbled across it once, almost by mistake, and now I can't even find it.
If you go onto the state fire marshal website and type in fire hazard severity zone on the search bar, it'll take you to the fire hazard severity zone maps, both for LRA and SRA.
You can shorten it to FHSZ and it'll come, it's easier to type in than all that.
FHFZ,
FHSZ, Fire Hazard Severity Zone. You just put in those 4 letters, it'll take you right to the map page.
great,
It's
thank you.
about halfway down the page, the map.
Super.
Questions? No. Chief, it just seems as though that homes and people who have lived here the longest and have more trees and shrubs growing are impacted at a higher rate with this, than obviously somebody building for the first time.
Yeah, I think that's why they provided.
And I'd also add to my comment is that some of the lower economic people in those homes are going to be adversely impacted more so than others. So
That's all being considered, so, on the county side, we've discussed potentially looking at in both counties. Potential grants for folks that don't have the fiscal means or the ability to, upgrade their property to the new zone 0 compliance. But it does have an impact for people that have been in a home
Yeah.
for a long time, and this is something that's
I'm
changing.
glad that's being looked at.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else? Moving on. Item B, continuous update on temporary new station 44 project. Chief, or who is going to do that?
Yeah, the final geotech review was submitted to them today, so we're just waiting to hear back for final occupancy, so we can move into that, so long as they accept the geotechnical review from the geotech that we hired the district to confirm compaction, so that letter was sent to them today, hopefully for approval. And then did you want me to update on perm station or just let that one go for now? But once we hear back from them, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we hopefully will get the approval to move in and we can finish the asphalt. That we can move in prior to the asphalt, but I don't think there's a real rush in that until we have the comments back from the county on the permanent station. There's no reason to rush moving them out if that one's not completely done.
Very good. Comments, questions? Hearing none. Moving on then to the committee reports. The month of April, we have the handout publicly available document here in front of you. It's pretty straightforward. I would just point out a couple of items that to summarize that ones that we've typically in the past, our Cal Fire contract is done in 4 separate sessions, and actually 2 of them have been funded and paid for thus far, so in good shape with that. Our expenses for a district are at 53% year to date, if you will, and our revenue is 72% year to date. So we're really pretty strong on that area. As a quick aside, I was just looking at the revenue increases on the coast side over the years, and in the last 4 years, in total, we've actually had an increase of some $3.5 million in annual increase, new homes, new buildings, that type of thing going on. I mean, with inflation, and everybody else, I guess that's not too surprising, but that is the status of the thing. So far, we have spent some $800,000 on the new Station 44 that has been done, preparation, and I assume that probably includes the temporary station going into that as well. We will have in trying to forecast what the finances will look like for the year. It's very clear that we're going to have a positive balance at the end of the year in our financial planning session for this coming year in June. We'll have an opportunity to take a look at and see what, do we just roll any balance forward? Do we try to direct it any specific items or projects that we might want to have? But that discussion will take place, assuming I'm correct, that we'll have a very positive balance. We'll have that discussion in June. Just as another quick aside that I was curious as to what we were earning with the monies. We have some in the various accounts, like in the county, some $30 to $40 million sitting there. I was curious as to what interest we were earning on that money, and very positively from Lake, where at the last month it was 3.7% on that. San Mateo County was also approximately 3.7%. So they have a very diversified number of accounts and that type of thing. PAS, if you will, year to date, maybe you've seen that, is 11% for 1 year, not just year to date, but for 1 year in the past, they're 11%. They have a completely different portfolio and so forth, and not anywhere near. I think if I remember, we've asked PAS to have an asset management. I think it's at 60-40, 60 equities and 40 bonds and so forth. But nevertheless, that's the good news, that money in our currently balance. Just as a thought going forward, when we build and actually start building 44 and renew our new CAL FIRE contract, which will take place next June, our balances in the bank are going to decrease dramatically. And for example, one example of that is that I mentioned LAIF, the percentages we're earning on the money we have in LAIF, some $19 million, I believe. That earns us $1 million a year. That's going to go away. We will not have that anymore. And there's some other reductions in potential income that we'll discuss at a later time. Other than that, any questions or comments on finance? None? Okay. Moving on, volunteer committee, Director Carco.
We didn't have a business meeting this month. They had the crab/salmon feed. As we have at least 3 board members were there. Cynthia was there, you were there, and I was there, and it was an excellent experience for everybody.
Very good. Land and Structures Committee, Director McKinney, Director Sharp.
So on the permanent station, the final plan review was submitted 3 weeks ago. We were told we should have final contract in 2 weeks, so we're a week past that at this point, so we haven't received anything back on the final plan review for that. And then they were telling me, Sean told me that PDK and Sean should have on the May meeting or possibly June meeting, depending on the county getting back to us, then we should have the approval of the plans and the specs to come out to bid. So they should be able to propose to you guys that everything's done and then start the bid process for the contractors. So they're hoping by May, pending the county getting back to us, that we should be able to present the detailed cost estimate and budget to go out the bid for the contractors. So fingers crossed for May. Worst case scenario, they're thinking June. So
I have some neighbors that are brand new to the area that moved down from the city, and they found out what I did and they always had questions. So I might understand that getting back to the temporary station. It can be occupied prior to the asphalt being laid, is that accurate?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
I mean, cause worst case scenario, the asphalt's gonna set up in a day, the engine can park just outside the fence for that day. If we need them to.
Okay,
So they're supposed to do the asphalt schedule for May. The first
Oh,
of
okay.
May, so I mean, it's gonna come
Next month,
fast.
yeah,
That we wanted to get final before we moved on with that. because
Sure.
That was just another approval process to go through. But yeah, they're scheduled for the 1st of May, so I think the timing should be fine between the two.
Alex, questions? We had an announcement meeting of building a new 44 at the old 44 station. Some time ago. How long ago was it? A couple of years?
It's been at least 2 years, right? At
Oh,
least-
wow.
at least 2,
23.
23. Yeah,
You know, I just find it frustrating personally, and blaming anybody, I know you go through a process to take this length of time to even get a shovel in the ground to get something done, I find very frustrating. But as I repeat, I'm not blaming anybody, I know there's a set process and everything is doing the right way, it's the speed of getting it done that I find is a little bit challenging, but
I've aged a lot in the last 3 years.
I got that off my chest. Will go forward. Okay, moving forward, Special Districts Association, Director Hannah is not here. I don't believe there's any meeting we went to. ALS JPA, there is no report. Typically, that organization has 2 meetings a year. There will be another meeting come up here, I believe, in another month or 6 weeks. I think I mentioned it last meeting. The organization is checking on some possible problems that exist in the whole financing of the JPA program, but that will be forthcoming sometime in the future. I assume emergency management is out on.
I think if this group would like to continue to get DEM reports, we're going to have to ask them to
Okay.
appoint someone else to, maybe we will see them tonight.
Well, and let's find out, you know, how badly do we need it? What's the value and all that type of thing, but that's fine, just to look forward to seeing and see what we can do. Okay. Okay, moving on, CERT report, Director Sherman.
CERT has 35 new certs. We've talked about this at a couple of different meetings, but they have all graduated. They do include 7 high school students, which brings our total graduated high school count to 31. I would like to propose that the volunteer group that gives scholarships to high school students consider inviting certain graduates to be a part of that group of people that gets considered for scholarships, because they've certainly demonstrated their commitment to public service.
sure.
We also have another opportunity coming up at the end of April, which you all may be fire's involved with too, where it's a group from the city, city future leaders, and it's Public Safety Day. And fire and DEM and the sheriff's office and CERT, probably others, are involved with making brief presentations to this assembled group of high school students. So that's another place that possible recipients of the grant could come from.
Very good.
Okay, we have a ongoing class right now for instructors. We have one more 8-hour class to go this Saturday. And we will have on coast side 5 new instructors. And we're training 2 more for Pacifica because you're nice guys. And then Radio Palooza is the next class, the next education effort that comes up next month. And it's 2 classes, morning and afternoon, for beginning and advanced FRS GMRS radio. That's the end of the.
Very good. So, Cynthia, continue to do an outstanding job. Thank you. Moving on, attorney's report,
Nothing, thank you.
no report, fire marshal's report.
Nothing new to report from the fire marshal's office, other than was already discussed earlier.
Very good. Chief reports.
All right. I will point out that we increased, looking at the monthly statistics. 61 business inspections were done, so they've started picking up, doing the business inspections for the year. There were 246 calls last month for the Coastside District, and the average response time was 5:12, well under the required timeframe. So that was great. The PARS statement is included. This is the first month, I think I mentioned a few months ago that I'm watching that as the return was lowering. This was actually a negative month for the PARS account. So we'll see how that bounces back next month, but President Burke and I have been watching that and making sure that we're keeping a close eye on that. Attended the Farmers Day lunch with JB. He was kind enough to sit next to me. It was a really good connection, meeting some folks and talking through with some folks, and every community member that I talked to had nothing but great things to say about the Coastside Fire District. So it's always nice when you're not trying to solve a problem while enjoying the lunch for somebody.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Big plus.
Yes. I'd also like to mention, though Gary did steal my thunder right before we started the meeting, that today is Administrative Professionals Day. So for Megan, everything she does for us here. Then each of you have a packet from LAFCO. There will be a seat on the LAFCO board for an independent fire district, and Coastside Fire Protection District falls under. So if you feel that you'd like to be nominated, there is a form in there that you can complete, and we could go through that process. Otherwise, I would think that in about a month, we'll probably have people at our next meeting providing why the board should vote for them, and then the board will provide a vote that will move forward to the LAFCO board in this report.
So, sir, are you saying that either we provide a candidate or the spot will be open to for people to come?
No, board members have the option to apply to be that
Yes,
candidate if you'd like.
but it's open to anyone else.
Sure.
That is under the independent districts identified by LAFCO in San Mateo County.
So the letter we have went to a dozen different organizations.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, one person left the district in March.
Yeah. Nothing nowhere.
Is it Brandon?
Dustin Brennan. Oh, yeah, Brennan. Yeah, one of our engineers who had been here for a couple of years, he transferred to the unit where he lives, in Paulding, Calvary.
Oh, okay, okay.
That statistic is hard to keep track of because the district doesn't really have any employees.
Yes,
So it's like the engine crew, like they don't really work for the district. They still work for CAL FIRE. They're just being moved to other CAL FIRE stations. So it's a hard statistic to kind of follow.
I know, several months ago, I went to a dinner here with one of our volunteers that's hooked up with the working crew members going from here to Riverside County, which is another CAL FIRE.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious. We, in the past, we've had people leave the district to get a promotion. Then they return when they can. That's
Yeah, and like so for Dustin, he left like CZU, but there's some people on the engines that like sometimes they'll go to like 58 or 59. So it's like they're leaving Coastside, but they're not leaving the unit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin lives in Sonora, so I think he came here for a promotion and then he's always aspired to go.
Oh, so it's the other way around. He came here for the promotion.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like this.
Other comments? The PAS report has already been mentioned, if you will, it's here, someplace that have it. I lost my agenda. Do you have anything else on the agenda? That's it.
There's another member.
Adjourn. Before we adjourn, excuse me, is there something you'd like to speak? Hearing none, let me just mention one thing that JD brought up, looking at the statistic. You know, we don't mention this very often, but a very thorough, complete professional listing is presented by CAL FIRE and the staff to the board on what the number of calls, who they went, the timing and everything else. And it's just an outstanding record, and sometimes we don't mention it, but it's something that I think everybody in this room can be very proud of. Without any questions, we are adjourned.
Where'd you get that wallet, John?
No, but we're